All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to talk to y'all today about this idea, and that's the idea of being consistent in the marketplace and how to keep showing up. And I want to give you 3 ideas that'll really help you to be able to keep showing up. Because let's face it, nobody's going to do business with us if we don't keep showing up. Nobody's going to do business with you, do business with me. We don't deserve anybody's business. We just show up for a few minutes and then disappear, show up for a few minutes and disappear. So I'm going to give you 3 strategies to help you to be able to be consistent in the marketplace. And when you come out, you can actually get your products sold, get your ideas out, and actually stay relevant in the marketplace so that you don't disappear. Okay. So first idea is number 1, you want to live from your future. You've heard me talk about this before, but the reason this is so important is because when you live from your future, then you have your eyes on what it is that you're doing this particular work for, this particular training, for this particular teaching, whatever it is that you do. You're looking at it. You're looking at it from this perspective. This is what I'm after. All right. So when you look at what it is that you're after, then you can do it the way that Jesus did it. This is the book of in the 12th chapter of Hebrews. It says, "Wherefore, being compassed with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down on the right hand of the throne of God." So what does that mean? That means that Jesus Christ, the way that he became consistent is that he looked at what the whole point was for why he was doing what he was doing. He looked at the end point and he started living his life from that end point. Are you listening to me? So number 1, from your future. FYF. Put it going. All right. So this is how you stay consistent. Number 1, from your future. Don't live towards it, live from it. You've heard me say it before. It's one of the reasons why nothing has stopped me from doing anything, because I only have one goal in mind. And that one goal in mind is the only thing that I'm shooting after. Everything that tries to block that goal is like it don't exist. Are you hearing me? Why? Because I'm living from my future. You see, the problem with most people is that most people are living from their past. So every time something happens, the past starts showing up. And the past is a sabotager. All right. Are you listening to me? The past is self-sabotaging behavior because the path makes us feel unworthy. We think about what we've done. We say, well, based on what I've done, I'm not no worthy cat. I'm not no worthy sister. I don't deserve the stuff that I'm looking for. Why? Because I done tricked off so much in the past. So many times I haven't kept my word. So many times I did stuff I shouldn't have done. So I'm not really in the clear to be focusing on this thing that's in front of me, because what I've done behind me, it cancels what I'm looking at in front of me. But that's not true. All right. That's not true. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And what you're going to have to learn how to do is allow God to forgive you and allow yourself to forgive yourself from whatever your past is, because your past is over and it ain't the measuring rod. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Your future is the measuring rod, not your past. Are you listening to what I'm saying? That way you can become consistent when you're looking at the future and not the past. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? If you're concentrating on the past, then you can't be consistent because your past is too raggedy. Your past is too inconsistent. Are you hearing me? Your past brings up too much pain. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? It's hard to work when you're in pain, when you're in mental pain, mental duress. It's hard to work when you don't feel worthy. It's hard to work when you don't feel like you deserve this and you deserve that. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to get up out the bed. It's hard to have your voice be heard because you don't feel like your voice is worthy of being heard. But I stopped by here this morning and let you know that you are worthy for your voice to be heard. All right. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And you have an obligation, a duty, a privilege even for your voice to be heard in the marketplace. And you'll do it more consistently once you just come to that conclusion, to the same conclusion that Jesus came to. I live my life like Jesus. I'm not worried about what people think about me. Why? Because I'm not even thinking, I'm not even focused on that. I'm focused on what? The future. And I'm looking at it right now as though it's happening today. So all the moves I'm making right now is based on what I see. How about you? How are you making a move? The moves that you make today, how consistent are you? Do people do things and then you just quit? All right. That's what I'm asking you. Are you consistent? That's what the question is today. And how do you develop consistency? So number one, you look you look from your future and you live for it. So you start making moves right now. And so that when people start doing things to try to distract you and disrupt what it is that you're doing, they become invisible. Are you hearing me? And I'm teaching you a little bit from out of my next book. My book that I just finished yesterday is Humble Aggression. So that's my fourth book. And so we'll be printing it out in March. So you'll be able to get it real soon in March. So so I'm teaching you some of the things from out of the book. And one of the things that I'm teaching you is that how the attitude that Jesus had. And he had a really good attitude. He says, so for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. There is no consistency without endurance. Okay? He endured the cross. What is the cross? The cross is the shame, the anguish, the backbiting, the killing, the killing of the assassination of your character, the player haters, the agitators, everybody that's opposing you, and all of that stuff is true. All right. You're not going to be in this marketplace without being opposed, backbitten, lied about, lied on, disgusting behavior from out of player haters and mean, wicked, evil folk. That's going to happen. Okay. So there's no need in sugarcoating that, but that don't mean nothing if you live in what from your future. Don't you know everybody would be successful? Everybody would be consistent if it wasn't for no opposition. The reason people don't want to be out here in these business streets is because it's a jungle. Sometimes I kept from going under. Why? I kept from going under because I ain't paying no attention to these marks. That's why. And I'm recommending to you that you don't pay these marks no attention either. And that you get your eyes what? On the future that you see. Are you hearing me? And that these marks know they ain't invited into your future. Did you hear what I said? Because the only reason that they're hanging around, lingering in your head, is because you don't have your eyes set on the joy that's before you. And believe you me, this life is full of joy when what? When you are singularly focused on the thing that the thing that you want to see. Dante just busts out with a song right in the middle of the line. All right. So from your future, number one, FYF, for all of y'all who just got here late. FYF. I'm not living from my past. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Because it's jacked up. And it ain't nothing to do with it. Nothing that can possibly be done about it. I'm living from my future, and you can do the same thing. I want you to put that in the chat if you haven't put it in there yet. From your future, FYF. Watch what starts happening to your life. You're going to start becoming focused on what you're looking at. And you're like, you know what? I'm only looking at what I'm looking at. And then I can consistently get up every day with joy. Why? Because of the joy that was set before him. Now notice, the joy that was set before him, not the trouble that's in front of him. See, you can't look at what's in front of you. You got to look at what's before you. Did y'all get what I said? I said, for the joy that was set before him, you got to look at what's before you. You can't look at what's in front of you, because what's in front of you is what you can see with your natural eye. What's before you is what you see with your spiritual eyes. And the only way that you can get up every day and be consistent is that you have to have spiritual eyesight. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what spiritual eyesight? Everybody put SE in the chat, because once you get some spiritual eyesight, then what's in front of you will disappear. Did you hear what I said? I said what's in front of you will disappear when you get some spiritual eyesight. You'll become a consistent person. So SP in the chat. Well, I have at least 10 of you all who want some spiritual eyesight. Ain't y'all tired of looking at what's in front of you? I'm talking about what's not in front of you, what's set before you. Are y'all hear what I'm saying? And just use the same common sense Jesus used. He didn't want the teacher around here. He didn't want to pay attention to. All right. He would. That's why he got his mission accomplished, because he was like, man, for the joy that's set before me. He said, I'm going to what? Endure the cross. I'm going to despise the shame. And I'm going to get back to where I came from, because that's what I came here for. And I come here just to sit around in some temporary stuff. I came down here to straighten these folk out so they can get their mind right. And then I'm going to get back to the crib. Okay. That's the attitude that Jesus had. If I was you, I would take the same attitude. I'm like, man, I need some spiritual eyesight so I can see what's ahead of me. And that's all I'm focusing on. So I'm making all my moves based on what's ahead of me. I'm not making my moves based on what's in front of me. Did y'all get that? Because what's in front of you is a whole bunch of confusion. What's in front of you is a whole bunch of witchcraft. What's in front of you is a whole bunch of debauchery. What's in front of you is a whole bunch of player hating marks trying to do what? put a monkey wrench in your program, all up in your Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. You got to ignore them and what? They will disappear. Are you listening to me? That's why Jesus, that's why Jesus would preach a message and then just disappear. A lot he's trying to kill him. Why? They was trying to kill him because they didn't like the way he preached. They didn't like what he's talking about. Why? Because he was talking about real stuff. He's talking about real life. And they didn't have no real life. They had fake lives. So you ain't like no real brother coming around talking about real stuff when you're a phony perpetrating mob. You don't like that. Why? You get so mad and angry because you see the Pharisees, they weren't fair, you see. They love prestige. They love the uppermost seats in the chambers. They love being seen by people. So when Jesus came along and started preaching, they hated his guts. And they said, no, we're going to kill this Mark first chance we get. That's why he had warrants and hits out on him from the time he first started preaching. But that's the way it is in this life. When you come into the marketplace, you come and get a marketplace what? When you come and get a marketplace what's real, you don't get a marketplace with a little phony stuff. And don't you worry about nothing that's going to happen to you because God got your back. Are you listening to me? I don't care what people think about me. And I tell it like a TIS is. Because why? Because I got spiritual eyesight. And I be looking at what's in front of me and what's ahead of me and what's in front of me don't exist. Are you listening to me? You say, Brother Ricky, how you so consistent? How you been online for 7, 8 years with all the hell you done been through, you know? So y'all don't know what the hell I've been through. Why? Because you ain't in my life. You know the hell that people go through to have impact on people? All of us go through hell. Anybody that's having any kind of impact on somebody's going through hell. But let me tell you something. You're going through hell too, even if you ain't having no impact. So you might as well go through some hell for a good reason. Hey, listen to me. You might as well have a purpose that's so good until all the hell you go through for who cares? Why? Because it's like ain't nothing stopping me but death, baby. All right. Because I'm looking at what's in front of me. That's how I was able to come out to projects and be able to take care of 10 kids and 10 grandkids and teach everybody legacy in my whole family. And that's how I have a family business where we all do business together. And everybody's learning about legacy without selling dope and without pimping hoes and slamming Cadillac doors and doing a whole bunch of nonsense. I'm talking about square, legitimate stuff. You dig what I'm saying? That God is pleased with and happy with. And a happy life, a beautiful life, a wonderful life, despite all the hateful, despite all the cheaters, despite all the liars, despite all that. Why? Because it's like they don't exist. Are you hearing me? So you say, Brother Ricky, I ain't like Jesus. Okay, I hear you talking. This is in my book, Humble Aggression, too. So y'all can read some of this when the book come out. So I hear some of y'all saying, Brother Ricky, I'm not like Jesus. I can't just disappear when I get through talking. When I get through talking, I got to deal with all these devils and all these folk that's all over my Kool-Aid trying to ruin my life. Okay? You might not be able to disappear like Jesus did, but you can make those people disappear. That's what coming at you. They can disappear from your brain. How do I know that? Well, we had a situation with Jesus where the Pharisees, these pompous, murderous, vicious, heinous serial killers, rolled up on Jesus in the middle of church while he teaching a lesson, and they bring a woman and throw her into the middle of the church service, ready to kill her. Are you hearing me? And ask Jesus, say, we just caught this hoe right in the middle of hoeing. Jesus like, hey, bro, watch your mouth. You messing with my Holy Ghost high. We up in here having church, player. All right? And you're going to bring a woman up in here talking about killing people in the middle of a church service? You see, you ain't never seen murderers like church murderers. Are you hearing me? You ain't never seen the most vicious people in the world are church folk. Are you hearing me? Why? Because they phony as hell. Church folk. I ain't talking about people in this kingdom. I'm talking about people just waste their time going back and forth to church who ain't about nothing. They vicious people. Why? Because they right in the middle of church and don't know the Bible. Bible dumb folk. Are you hearing me? Mean as hell, rotten as hell, evil as hell, self-righteous as hell, mean, vengeful people. Are you hearing me? Want to see people killed right in the middle of a church service, don't know nothing about God. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? So here these marks show up at church and they want to kill a woman right in the middle of church. You know, they some fake marks because they brought the sister and want to kill a sister, but they didn't bring the trick she was tricking off with. You hear me? Because she couldn't have been no hoe without a whoremonger. So how you gonna bring the hoe and don't bring the whoremonger? Because that's the way vicious, evil, self-righteous folk are. They got their own ideas about what's right and what's wrong. So they try to impose their will on other people's lives, and they come in here trying to gangster Jesus, but they don't understand. Jesus is a real G. He a real gangster. He a Holy Ghost gangster. All right. He got more power than all these little punks and poo butts and this pinky finger. So what does he do? He ignored them. They talking to him, and he did what? See, Jesus thinking about the joy that's set before him, so he know how to ignore these marks. Just like I'm telling you this morning, if you're gonna be consistent, you're gonna have to learn how to ignore some folk. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Are you hearing me? Ignorant grace. Are you listening to me? Everybody put IG in the chat. No, not Instagram. Ignorant grace. Are you hearing me? I'm so ignorant to what most people think about me until it makes me a very gracious man. Why? Because I got ignorant grace. Are you hearing? I don't even know most of the things that people talking about because I don't care. Are you listening to me? That's how you're gonna be consistent. I said, how you gonna be consistent, brother? How you gonna be consistent, sister? Ignorant grace. Come on, put it in the chat. IG. It's time for some ignorant grace. They say, Brother Ricky, you know what they talk? Did you hear what they said about you? I'm like, nope. They said, you hear what Sue said about you? I'm like, uh-uh. They said, what about Robert? I said, quite frankly, let me tell you how I feel about all that. Because I ain't just got ignorant grace, I got snoring grace. All right? Just like Shantae. Be snoring like a champ. I ain't talking about you, baby. I'm talking about me. All right, I'm talking about me. All right. Snoring like what? Snoring. I got snoring grace. Why? Because all I got control over, and brother and sister, all you is your excellence. Okay? Your ability to come into the marketplace and produce excellence for people. And it's not going to happen if you don't have some ignoring grace. Jesus is ignoring these marks, but he's talking about killing this woman. He's just writing in the sand. He's just writing in the sand. Finally, he look up. He said, let me ask y'all the question since y'all come in here talking about killing her. And I know the law and all that. Like, do I know the law? I am the law. All right. So everybody put in the chat, I am the law. So when people come to you asking you all these dumb questions, you let them know I am the law, baby. All right. Why? Because I'm a walking Bible. I hear me. I am the law. I'm a walking epistle. I am the law. You ain't just talking about the law. I am the law. All right. So I don't need your permission to do nothing when I'm the law. Are you hearing me? I don't need your permission to do something when I'm the law. What? And I'm ignorant to what most of y'all talking about. Why? Because you ain't talking about nothing. I hear what I'm talking about? You're just talking loud, but what? Ain't saying nothing. Ain't saying nothing. You're just talking loud, but you ain't saying nothing. I hear him. It's like you don't even exist. Did you hear what I said? So Jesus ignoring these marks. He writing in the sand. Why? Because he's a consistent man. He's got to teach lessons and stuff. He can't let these dudes come in and start putting a monkey wrench in this program. Right here, what I'm talking about. He can't let these cats come in, start changing his temperament and his disposition in the marketplace. He got to teach for 3 whole years. Are you listening to what I'm talking about? He got 3 years worth of teaching to do, and he gonna be consistent every day in the marketplace. And the only time he gonna not be teaching is when he goes someplace to get his mind right, go someplace to get a little solace, then come right back in and get right back in the marketplace and get to teaching again, just like you. Some of you all are some amazing men and women who I have never met. And the marketplace has never met you. Why? Because you are not consistent enough. You made 1 video and you quit. You made 2 videos and you quit. You wrote 1 book and you quit. You did 1 stage play and you quit. You did 1 email and you quit. You sent out 1 text message and you quit. Why? Because you ain't living from your future. You paying attention to these marks, and these marks got influence on you. Oh yes, they do. Oh yes, they do. I know human beings got influence on human beings. A little dried up, $2.50 Mississippi migrant, gold teeth wearing, sweet Kool-Aid juice drinking tricks, country bumpkins got y'all scared and got y'all what? Hemmed up. What? Hemmed up like some floods. Are you hearing me? Where is the floods? The floods. Floods. You know when your pants ain't long enough, got you hemmed up like some floods. Are you hearing me? No consistency. Won't come out into the marketplace. I know I'm on your block today. I know I'm on your block, but I got up this morning to get on your block because why? I'm tired of seeing it. I'm like, look at my brothers and my sisters. Bless you, baby. Like, look at my brothers and my sisters with all this talent. And they let people hem them up. These little punk sissies hem y'all up. Are you hearing me? God put me on the earth. One of my reasons to be on earth is because I've been tied up in my own crib with duct tape. I've been getting robbed since I was 4 years old. I've been around little wannabe thuggish little punk sissies all my life. And my job as your brother, my gift as your brother, is to infuse in you the power to be able to do what you want to do. We all got a lot of gifts, but that's why I get out of bed. I get out of bed because I hate to see somebody else intimidated by these little punks. I don't like it. I'm like, look, why haven't I seen you in the marketplace and why aren't you consistent? I know the answer before I even ask you. It's because you're afraid of what people think. But I stopped by here to give you 3 ways to get out of that, and I got to rush to the next 2 because I only got 10 minutes left. Okay. So the first one is live from your future. That will allow you to be able to ignore people, like Jesus ignored these guys. And he told them, first one of y'all that ain't got no sin in your life, you throw the first stone. So they all got up and left. What's going to happen to you is when you ignore people, they're going to disappear. You ain't got to worry about disappearing because the people will disappear. Did you hear what I'm saying? Everybody put DG in the chat because God is going to give you some disappearing grace. That's right. People about to disappear out your life because you're going to ignore them and they're going to realize that their opinion don't mean nothing to you no more. And then you're going to become more consistent. I need at least 10 of y'all that's ready to have some disappearing grace to put DG in that chat. And I'll teach you the last 2 points. Y'all ready? DG. Who's ready for some disappearing grace? You know you need some of these marks to disappear. Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. All right, why? Because they stopping you from doing stuff. They're making you inconsistent, all right? Anybody else? Anybody else? DG. DG. Anybody else? Anybody else? Where y'all at? DG. Where y'all at over here? Where y'all at? Anybody else? DG. Let's go. DG. Let's go. DG. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go, Sheila. Come on, Pre-Dennis. Let's go. Come on, Kim. Let's go. Come on, Ryan. Let's go. Come on, Cheryl Lynn. Let's go. I said, come on, let's go. Who ready to get rid of some folks? All right. Let's go, Sandy. Let's go. CC, let's go. Come on, let's go now. Come on, Ken. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, Gino. Let's go. Come on, Ryan. Let's go. Come on, where y'all at? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. DG, you go. Why? Because I'm gonna be consistent. I can't be consistent every time I get ready to do a message. Your egghead keeps showing up. Man, get rid of them eggheads. When we was little, we used to call people that, but man, get your egghead up out of here. You go. Why? Because I got work to do. I ain't gonna do my work if you keep showing up every time. How dare you let another person show up in your brain every time you get ready to do some work and you can't do your work because they all up in your head? How dare you? Tell them, Marks, be gone. All right, so that's number one. Live from your future, and then you'll be able to what? Have disappearing grace. People that disappear out your head. Once they disappear out your head, you can be consistent. All right. Number two. Number two is you want to gain gnosko. All right, I got to rush through this. I only got 5 minutes left. I got an appointment. All right, so I got to go real fast. You want to gain gnosko. Remember, I told you it's only 2 types of knowledges. One is called yada. That means somebody just talking, yada, yada, yada. The other one is gnosko. Gnosko means the person knows what they're doing, who's teaching you. All right, so John, that's not Stella Wealth talking about inbox you. All right, here we go again with these fake tricks on here. Don't inbox nobody. That's not me. Here we go again. Every time somebody starts telling you to inbox them and all that stuff while I'm live, it's not my son. It's some fake people. Why? And well, you know what? Look at these marks. They consistent. I hear me, Ricky. Erase these tricks off of here. Here we go again with the same nonsense on Facebook all the time. You got consistent devils. Everybody put CD in the chat. You hear me? How dare you not be a consistent brother, a king and a queen with all these consistent devils out here? Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody put CD in that chat so we can rebuke that spirit, the spirit of these consistent devils. I pray that you'll rain on their parade. I pray that you'll turn their counsel into the counsel of the Ahithophel, the way that you curse Ahithophel's counsel, curse their counsel so that the people won't come in and give them no money. Curse these tricks, Lord. Curse their businesses. Curse them in the name of Jesus Christ. Their businesses, Lord. What they trying to do. Curse that mess, Father. Curse that witchcraft. Take it back to the pit of hell where it came from so that your people won't be deceived, giving these tricks no money, wasting their time trying to get something for nothing. I rebuke the spirit of laziness out of your people, that we would be thorough people who will show up in the business and a consistency in this marketplace, Lord, that we'll come giving and not trying to get nothing from folk for free. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so y'all check that spirit and don't let they consistent with their nonsense. And then we ain't gonna be consistent with doing right. Are you hearing me? We out here to help each other. And we're gonna show up 2 days. Are you hearing me? Consistent devils. Are you hearing me? You are consistent. You're a wonderful person. How dare you let the devil be more consistent than you? Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Excuse me. All right, so number 2, gain gnosko. I got to get out of here. I got 4 minutes. Number 2, gain gnosko. When you gain gnosko, that means you know how to do something. All right? So I got 2 books that'll help you. The Wealth Formula. If you haven't read it, just put wealth in the chat. Gain some gnosko. So to teach you how to 10x your income, how I went from $100,000 a year to $8 million. All right, so learn how I did it in my book, The Wealth Formula. Just put wealth in the chat. Gain gnosko. Get the knowledge from the person that has the knowledge. All right, that's what gnosko means. That means stop learning from people who teach you about stuff that they don't do. Because why? You can't be consistent. Because when you go do what they told you to do, it don't work. So you're gonna quit. Why? Because don't nobody like keep hitting their head keep hitting your head on the ceiling. That stuff just give you a headache. Are you hear what I'm talking about? So one reason why it's hard to be consistent is because you don't know what you're doing. But you don't know what you're doing because the person that taught you didn't know what they was doing. All right. I wish I had time to teach it, but we got to go. All right. So gain gnosco. That's number 2. And then the last thing, number 3, date the data. All right. Stay consistent by taking data and making sure that what you're doing is working. Measure it by whether or not it worked or whether it didn't work. If it works, consistently do it. If it doesn't, just discard it. But don't worry about it because it's not mistakes. It's not failure. It's data. Okay. And date the data. Are you dig what I'm saying? Date the data. In other words, when you come out into the marketplace and you're dealing with people, get measurements of how good you're doing. Okay. Write it down. Put it in your stats. Go over it every week with your team and say, okay, this is working and this is not working. This needs to be added. This needs to be discarded. And as we go back into the marketplace, we're going to do more of this because now we know it works. We're going to do less of this because we know it don't work. We're going to eliminate this because we know it ain't worth doing. We're going to add this because we found out that it's good. The data, date the data. All right. So that's the 3 ways to stay consistent. Stay consistent. Number 1, live from your future. Number 2, gain gnosco. And number 3, date the data. All right. I got to run. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. You all enjoy the rest of your beautiful Monday afternoon. And I see some of you all in the challenge next week. We got 1 week left of the challenge. If you haven't signed up already, just put challenge in the chat and we look forward to seeing you then. I got to get out of here. I got a meeting with an international partner who wants to do the business all the way from here to Dubai. And I got to get on there right now. All right. You all have a beautiful day. A beautiful day. I speak into your life the power of consistency. Rewatch this video and learn what it is you're supposed to learn. Teach to your kids. Okay. Have a great day. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. All right. Get out here and be consistent. Okay. Be consistent. Be consistent. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Be consistent. I'm looking forward to seeing you.